Hello, everyone. Here's your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Wednesday, January 9th. Some light precipitation is coming our way today and tomorrow. It's coming in a couple of different waves. Gusty winds today in the mountains into this evening. There'll probably be some blowing and drifting issues, especially in the central mountains where a lot of snow fell with our last event in that area. High pressure blocking pattern over us means Ridge City this upcoming weekend. There'll be some inversions with some valley fog and stratus possible. You can see, again, with the moisture coming in the next 24 to 48 hours, not a lot coming our way. Most of it will fall across portions of the Soldiers up into the Sawtooths, the boulders, surrounding areas. And most of those areas in the higher elevations will see 1 to 4 inches, maybe a couple of spots, just a tad bit more than that across those areas. But again, not a whole lot coming. The wind's going to be the big issue, I think. Wave number one moving through this morning. The secondary wave is still behind us across Washington and Oregon. We have a huge area of low pressure off in the Pacific. That's not getting here till next weekend. Out ahead of that, high pressure will build. That's going to bring those inversion conditions across the area. So this weekend, it's going to be rather warm compared to some of the valley locations, and we're going to talk about some temperatures definitely getting above freezing. Now, let's take a look at what the forecast will look like through the day into tomorrow. The first push of moisture, most of it is light, not reaching the ground, will be shifting to the east. The models are not picking up on a little area, again, over the central mountains into the Magic Valley as well. Any of this should be light snow. If this little band here across the Magic Valley actually reaches the ground, there could be a very brief period of some light freezing drizzle with that, but that's not a very high chance and not expected to be a major impact if it even does happen. Those gusty winds this morning already, 25 to 35 with gusts over 40 across the South Hills and the Albion Mountains all the way along the benches up towards Rexburg, higher elevations of the Central Mountains, and we're also watching some gusty east winds around 25 to 35 across the Magic Valley. As we go through the rest of the day, you'll notice that first band moves away. We'll start to see the next area moisture moving in but weakening into the Central Mountains by this afternoon. Still looking at gusty winds over the highlands, the southern and the southeastern highlands as well. Still gusty across the Magic Valley, but those winds will be letting up just a bit. Our next best surge of moisture arrives late this afternoon into this evening. Again, mainly over the Sawtooths, the Boulders, the Smokies, the Central Mountains, into the northern part of the Soldiers as well. Winds will start dying down, but until then, again, the blowing and drifting snow potential is there, especially up in those central mountain areas where all that snow has fallen. So we go through the night, and we'll get to right around midnight. Most of the moisture is over. There'll still be some lingering light snow over the central mountains. Most of it, though, is shifting the more precipitation into the southern highlands, the Magic Valley, the lower Snake Plain as we go into the overnight hours. And we talked about this morning a little bit of potential of light freezing rain or drizzle with this. A similar situation tomorrow. As the initial onset occurs with this band, there could be a brief period of light freezing drizzle or light freezing rain. Again, not much of an impact, and even with the snow that falls, it's not going to be much. Very light snow expected across the area. Our map again showed you earlier, most of those areas seeing less than an inch, maybe just some flurries as well. We go into tomorrow, you can see on the right-hand side there's no wind, and as we go into tomorrow afternoon, into tomorrow evening, you'll notice by the time we get to midnight tomorrow, we're done with precipitation. And like I said, we're done with precipitation, it looks like, until we get to the early part of next week. Now, the temperatures are going to be interesting because at least the next couple of days, we're going to be in a thaw-freeze situation. Look at some of these afternoon temperatures today. Above freezing, even Stanley above freezing, Chalice above freezing. We're looking at some low 40s in some areas. As we get into the overnight hours tonight, you can see most of us back below freezing with those lingering bit of gusty winds across the Magic Valley. They're not going to be much, but just enough to keep temperatures near freezing in those areas. But again, tomorrow afternoon temperatures very similar to today, maybe in a degree or two either direction in most locations for tomorrow. Friday's the transition day, very chilly temperatures. Starting to see some cooler valley temperatures as well, but look at Stanley, 36, Sun Valley, 35 degrees. Now, here's Saturday. Look at those afternoon temperatures. Now, in the valley locations, a lot of places not above freezing. getting to just above freezing across the Magic Valley. But look at Sun Valley, 34, Stanley, 34. Some of those higher peaks may be even warmer than that for Saturday, and that trend will actually continue and probably be more prevalent for inversions on Sunday. Temperatures in the mid-20s across the Snake Plain. You get to Sun Valley, 35, Stanley, 36. It might be just a couple of degrees warmer as well once you get up to like Bald Mountain, Titus, and those areas as well. Once again, some interesting weather is headed our way. Have a great day and stay safe out there, everyone.